Hello, friends. I wanted to share with you something that I did today. Um, it was something unique, at least for me, um, that there was a charity event going on, um, and it was called Float the River, I believe. It was put on by Iron Bull. Um, hadn't heard of the um, group before, but apparently they've been around for 2 years. But they're trying to promote sports, recreation, outdoor recreation, that kind of thing. Um, and I think that's just great. Um, but anyway, so I had saw that post on Facebook, so I thought, okay, I'll try it. I gotta be honest, I was a little terrified. That's why I didn't sign up until today. Yes, the day of the event, yes, it was raining. But anyhow, because I had experiences in the past with inner tubes that I didn't uh, care to recreate. But I thought, well, okay, I'll try it again. There's a group of people, and it's a all ages, and it's, a couple hour event. So, I'll try it. So, how it worked is, you parked at one place, and then there was no shuttle. You had to, well, I mean, there was a closer one, but then at the end, if you walk there to begin with, where you ended up, that's where your car was, and uh, otherwise you'd have to have a walk at the beginning or at the end. Um, so I chose to walk at the beginning. But anyway, so I went there and I walked the mile and a half or so that they said, and there are a couple times where it's just like, it was raining. It's like, well, should I just turn around? That kind of thing. But I just kept going. And I got there. There were the volunteers there, but there wasn't any participants. And I, got discouraged. I'm like, well, am I the only one going to be there? They said, well, I was welcome to go and float by myself, but they'd rather have, a group and that because it's, more fun and such. And, well, I was kind of a scaredy cat and that. And so I, instead of being easy out and being like, okay, well, see ya. I actually went, I waited, and so there was mother, daughter, and her two kids that showed up. So a total of three generations. And so here's what I learned from from the experience. I'll tell you what happened, and then insights into your lessons learned from it. Um, so when we got started, we were all tied together, and we were going around in circles, and that's because we didn't know exactly where we were going, and we didn't have, an eye on the goal. And then we also did not have clear communication of how to paddle. I remember at one point there was even a joke of somebody telling me how to paddle, and they're were saying something like, "Oh, push away from," and then they kind of stop mid-section or mid-sentence, and they're like, "Yeah, I know I don't talk very well, or I don't make sense." Um, so that was kind of interesting. Um, but we were stuck between two currents, and so we're kind of going, back and forth between the two, and so we weren't really going anywhere. And so it's like, okay, well, we'll go towards that building there, or we'll go towards that dock or whatever, and there wasn't a clear communication and decision, and so he just ended up going in circles. Um, one, I guess, you could say one thing that I learned is know who is on your team and have clear communication with people on your team. Um, Team as in, what your, I don't know exactly how to say it, but in your organization, it doesn't have to be a formal team. Basically, the people that are with you, going for the same thing, make sure that, they are going, for the same thing, that they're not just in the boat paddling in different directions, going in circles, going nowhere. Um, so eventually, we got to the halfway point. I don't know how we did that, but then uh, the rest of the group got off because the kids were getting cold and wet and everything. And so then I was going to go in as well, but then I saw another group going or coming in our direction, and I decided to stay in and just go with them. And I had my phone in a waterproof bag at the time, and just paranoid not to get it wet, look at it. So I had no idea how long I was floating. But apparently I was only floating for like 2.5 hours or something like that. But damn, it felt like I was out there all day. It's like, well, they're going to say, well, you want to go home now. You got to get out whether you made it to the end or not. But, that was something my mental clock has to work on. Um, but, I guess that, you got to keep your eye on the goal. Um, so sometimes you have to go with the current, and sometimes you got to go against the current. And so uh, there were times in that where even though the current was going in the correct direction, for whatever reason, my inner tube decided to float the other direction. It didn't matter how I orientated myself, because I thought, well, maybe it was, my top was heavier than my bottom or something, but no, it just kept going the opposite direction. It actually, what's the word? Not bamboozled, but I'll use that word. Bamboozled the uh, volunteers that were in kayaks that were, towing us and stuff. And it's like, why are you going in this direction? You're supposed to go in that direction. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. You put me in the current to go left, and I float right, or, vice versa. Um, so, you gotta, set your own course sometimes. It's like sometimes, yes, right, ride the course, ride the current, but other times realize you're going in the wrong direction, or ask if you're going in the right direction, and then correct your course if necessary. And there was a lot of that where it's just like, I had asked somebody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're going in the right direction," and then I was floating back, and I don't know, to my instinct, I thought I was going in the wrong direction, but, they were an official type looking person, so I believed them, and then I met another one, and they're like, what are you doing going this way? I said, well, that's the way the current was taking me, and that's, and I asked the guy, and he said, yep, I was going the right direction. And they said, no, 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 you want to go in that direction. And I said, well, okay, that does make sense, but I was told otherwise. And, it was kind of a free for all, you could float wherever, kind of thing. You didn't have to go from the beginning to the end, but, I was, trying to be a perfectionist, a complete. I don't know if there's such a thing as a completist, but maybe I just made up that word. But anyway, so trust your instincts, but also ask for directions when needed, and then also accept help when it's given and you need it. Uh, when it's offered, that kind of thing. I just learned, you could tow a inner tube with what's it called, a kayak. And actually, I might look into getting a kayak. 'Cause, I don't know, it just looked kind of fun, and that. But and I don't know, I just like helping people and stuff. So you know, you, that kind of thing, and being more self-reliant, where floating on the river, in a inner tube, you're more of as the wind blows and everything, where you set. Yes, I know it's not a sailboat, but you set your sail, you paddle in your own direction, kind of thing. So let's see. Uh, yeah. Oh, and when you look at the route, I will post a picture below of the route I took, because I was just interested, of where I went, and if the would give all the details, and it didn't really do that. It kind of just gave more of a general idea. Um, so even though I guess I thought we were going pretty slow, maybe we weren't. But anyway, so it looked like a pretty straight route, or simple route. But in reality, as I said, there was a lot of going in circles, going backwards, going forwards, getting lost, that kind of stuff. And the route route does not show that, apparently. So that's a good thing in life. A good life lesson is that don't judge people or don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what, everybody, all the troubles that they have and the battles that they have. So, for example, you might know some things about it, but, you might just be like, well, okay, they went here, there. Oh, it just looks like they just had a nice 2 hour float, down the river. Well, no, there was a lot of back and forth and everything and that. So, um, you, sometimes if you don't know the whole story, and sometimes people forget part of the story, or they just don't want to relive, part of it, be like, oh, it was horrible, like the whole, I ran into some trees. Well, it wasn't a tree. Uh, so the current took me in that, and wow, the raft has no brakes, and it was, behind me, and that, so I couldn't see where I was going, and I ran into some low branches and stuff, and they had to tow me out of there. Um, well, actually, I got it out of there, but they towed me out because then there was another bigger log thing coming along. Um, so that kind of thing. I think I already talked about getting towed, getting um uh help or accepting help. Um, let's see. Getting out of the water, that was fun. So I actually went through the, I guess, handicapped one. And that, because that was the one I got to first. Well, I had trouble on the handicap one, so I'm glad I didn't try the regular one. But anyway, I had to, and for whatever reason, maybe somebody here knows physics or has this situation, but it's like, doesn't matter how I paddle, I was always going in the wrong direction, and the only way that I could head in a good direction, or in a standard direction, what's the word? Specific direction, and that was if I paddled and I couldn't see what was going on behind me. So, anyway, the way the handicap thing was, and that is that your feet go first, and that, you hit the platform and then you get up and stuff. Well, that didn't happen for me, because I couldn't get in that way, and so I went in, head first, and, there was no floor for my feet. So eventually I learned how to spin around in that little spot, and that because there were bars, handrails, and that. Um, so I think I already said about getting told wrong directions and to trust your instinct, but also ask for help when needed. Um, yeah, it felt like all day, but it was only a couple hours, only like 2.5 hours. I couldn't believe it when I got out. Um, and let's see. So I had talked to the, I don't know, she's like the manager or whatever, or, president, but there are other Iron Bowl events, with like bike riding and other outside races and stuff. Um, so, um, so why I did it? You probably are all wondering, and apparently I talked about my experiences for 18 minutes. But anyway, so, um, my Facebook group entitled Brett's Friendly and Helpful Neighborhood is trying to change the world one positive, and I don't know, action at a time or positive thought at a time. And basically, I'm trying to do that by being more positive, more accepting of other people, showing people, and educating people, being less negative, especially during this period of global sickness. And, you know, and I was called inspiring the other day. And I actually did run well, no, I didn't run. I walked a 5K, but, it was nice to, had butterflies in my stomach or heart or however you say that, that was inspiring. Because this is why I do what I do, with posting these videos and in this group, is to inspire people to be better for themselves and that and have a more positive world and that because right now with all the bad stuff going on and with all the news coverage and that I wanted to have a place to have a positive corner um, where somebody could I guess camp out in Facebook land and that if they were tired of all the other Facebook negativity. Um, and also, I guess you can call me out if I have any negativity in the Facebook group. Um, but I try to keep it very positive. And, you know, in the last year, for during quarantine, yes, I used the Q word, quarantine. Um, but quarantine of 2020, if people are watching this in the future, look it up in your history books. But anyway, I lost 60 pounds. Just about 60 pounds, maybe a little bit more during quarantine. And I'm trying to get more people to join me to do that. Not just to lose weight and that, but to feel better about themselves and whatever. And not to give up. And be like, oh well, I'm fat. That's the end of it. I'm just gonna be fat for the rest of my life. Well, that's what I thought too. And it wasn't until quarantine hit and also I started on some health supplements and stuff that I started getting energy, and then I started going to counseling and stuff and just getting my mind straight. So let's see, how other ways am I trying to? Oh yeah, just trying to be more active. More outside stuff, not inside stuff. Be more inspiring. Helping people, whether that be with their lifestyle, with their diet and food, or with their mental stuff, because I struggle with both. But I am trying to be better, and I know, especially with all this negativity, one common response is for people to eat their feelings, and get fat. Well, I did that for many, many years. I'm here to say that when I started this health journey over a year ago, I was 330 pounds, just about, and I can say that confidently now because I am far away from that. Yes, it's only 60 pounds difference, but, I ain't comfortable in my own skin, and I wouldn't want to go back up to that weight, but, I'd own up to it, that kind of thing. And I'm just trying to, get better every day. Doing something different. You can't really see behind me. Nope. I've tried. But no, I'm in the way and I'm not moving. Yesterday I did plant some onions in my backyard. Yes, it's end of June. I heard from people, oh, you're supposed to do it in like April, May, something like that. Not the end of June, but um, I didn't know that when I went and I bought them. Um, so I went and I bought them and I planted them yesterday, and we'll see. If anything else, I wasted whatever $3 or some on some onion sets, which apparently are different than onion seeds. Apparently, well, I don't know if you can get onion seeds, but apparently sets are um, smaller onion type or plants that have grown a little bit but aren't mature, and seeds are, well, obviously seeds. Um, so things like that. And also, I am in these body transformation challenges, so it gives me a way to look at myself and engage myself, not just on the scale. Yes, the scale is a tool. Yes, um, obesity, it can measure it by that, but it's only, part of the equation. There's, well, how do you feel? How do you look? Um, that kind of thing. How do your pants fit and whatever. So, you know, be cognizant of that, and even though you might be like, oh, well, I gained 5 pounds. Well, not 5 pounds a day, but, I gained, 5 pounds this week or whatever. And that realize that your body is adjusting. And if you feel good in that, um, keep it up, keep trying to be better. And eventually the scale will go down. Um, I had that realization earlier this week. It's for the, I don't know. Um, I'm not a doctor, but or health expert. But I'm trying to learn to just better my life and other people's lives. But my weight was going up, 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 and then all of a sudden it started coming down. And so part of that's like building muscle, that kind of thing. Um, so and well, I could go on with other examples, but give yourself rest. Don't work out 7 days a week and that to pure exhaustion, and that maybe work out for 6, and even God rested on the seventh day. So something like that. But anyway, this new challenge. Because I've been a part of a couple body transformation challenge groups. This new group, they're starting one on Monday, and it'd be wonderful if we got more people in there. It's only $10 to register, and it's honestly not really that stringent. It's not like, oh, you got to eat all these foods and that, and you have to, do all this fancy stuff. No, but it's a lot about accountability, and you don't even have to do that. But I've heard, or I've seen the people that are more accountable and that, in posting, whatever, and it's a private Facebook group. Um, so nobody else is seeing your pictures of your food or whatever, but or your questions and that. But the people that plug in more usually get better result, or do get better results. And so if you want to hear more about this, just let me know. The challenge officially starts June 28th, 2021. But I might be able to squeeze you in, because that's this coming Monday already. And it's only $10. It's a 21-day challenge. And this one that's more workout based and that, but they always share recipes, and things like that, and other tips to keep you um, more healthy or healthier. For example, I don't remember the percentage, but apparently a lot of the fat loss actually comes out through like your breathing and stuff, like the water vapor that comes out of your mouth when you breathe. Um, so I guess there is something to when you're exercising, open your mouth and going, maybe that'll, you know, lose a little bit more weight. Um, but yeah, so wow, I've been talking for 30 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna give my throat a rest. Maybe drink my delicious um, my delicious shake, or some tea or something to comfort my throat or soothe my throat. So you got any questions? You know where I am. I'm the moderator of my group, this group. And if I post this otherwhere, other places, you can always look for Brett's Friendly and Helpful Neighborhood on Facebook. So thank you, friends, and have a good day.